Good morning, Good Vibes Tribe. Leslie Klein here. I made it through Hurricane Helene. Actually, it didn't really affect us directly, except we had some stormy seas in Honduras when the tropical storm was developing, because that's where it came from, right where we were sailing. So it's been pretty exciting this week because we had Hurricane Helene happening. We were dancing with her in the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico. And I apologize for not doing my live stream. I had plans yesterday, but I had a little bit of Montezuma's revenge. So let's recap. I think the last time you saw me, I was at Costa Maya in Mexico having a drink, and we had some. That was 2 days ago. I had some drinks, and I've stopped drinking because my body just doesn't process it well, and I get sick from alcohol now. So I handled my espresso martini a couple days prior, but I had some of these little drinks that were. Let's see, what did I have? I had a Blue Ocean and then two pina coladas. Then we went to an authentic Mexican restaurant for some chicken quesadillas. So I had that, and I was all good, and we got back to the ship, but then my stomach started feeling a little funny, and yeah, so Montezuma's revenge. It could have been from the ice, the water, but from the ice that they use in the drinks, or it could have been alcohol, or it could have been the spices in the thing. But I was not feeling good yesterday, which is why I did not do the live stream. Plus, I was kind of on the phone all night long. Not all night, but I didn't. From the beginning of this trip, I have not been sleeping well. Just not getting enough sleep, like 4 hours instead of my normal 8 hours or whatever. So the issue, I was just so tired now. The last 2 nights, I finally got some good sleep. But the night of Hurricane Helene, when she was making landfall, I had the Wi-Fi, and Lynn's son Andrew was home alone in their house, and they have a creek that rises when there's a storm surge, and it went beyond what it's ever been before in their house. It went up. They have these pool steps that go up, these steps from the pool, which is lower, all the way up to the house, and it never went. Usually it doesn't go beyond the first step, but it went all the way up to the top step, so it almost went in the house. I think their house was the only one that didn't get flooded in their neighborhood, on their street, because the street was flooded. So 9 o'clock at night, I'm texting Andrew because he's watching the water rise. His father's in Las Vegas doing a softball tournament. His mother is with me, and she was asleep then, so I was kind of like talking him through the situation, because he's only 15. He'll be 16 in November. But, he was kind of home alone. Now, he was talking with his father the whole time, too, talking to him every 15 minutes. But I was there doing moral support or whatever via text, and so their family friend, JR, got his big monster truck and went through 3 to 4 foot waters to get to his house to rescue Andrew and their little dog Penny and bring them to his house. So he did finally get to a safer place, and thankfully the water did not go back into the house. So the next day he went back to the house. The water did recede, didn't get into the house, so lucky there. But prayers out and good vibes out to the people in Florida along the coast, because Ozona, Crystal Beach, Palm Harbor, Dunedin's pier is all messed up. Same with Crystal Beach. My old house was elevated 14 feet, but had a downstairs that was finished. And I heard that the water went up to half of the window, so that probably was 3 or 4 feet in our house, and it has never flooded like that in our old house. So everything, I think, from Alt 19 West got flooded in the Palm Harbor, Dunedin, Tarpon Springs, area. So my sister, thankfully, in Odessa, which is where I stay when I'm down in Florida. Um, Her house is fine, thankfully, because it's away from the water. So people who were inland, my stepmom Sally and her daughter Heather and grandson Reed are all okay. She lives in Hudson, but she's away again from the water, and her house is elevated. So they had some bad winds and some debris, but it was a storm surge that really did some damage. So anyway, that's why between being not getting much sleep that night because I was on the phone probably till 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and then finally got some sleep, and then Andrew texted me again at 5:30 when he went back to the house. So it was there wasn't a whole lot of sleep that night, as I'm sure most of the people in Florida along the coast were also up all night, monitoring things. So I learned something that I didn't know. There were some fires on Crystal Beach and Indian Bluff Island because when there are a lot of it's a golf cart community, so a lot of these golf carts have those lithium batteries, or even electric cars with lithium batteries. When they contact the salt water, I don't know if it's the salt water or just water, but they burst into flames. And so there was at least one house in Crystal Beach that had a fire that the fire department, Palm Harbor Fire Department, had to rescue or deal with. And so that, was happening. And so it was very, very difficult, night. And I hope everyone has flood insurance and evacuated when they were supposed to. It's hard to evacuate your house because you want to monitor things to see if there's something that you can do. But, sometimes you get into situations and you're flooded and you just can't get out. I think it was Tropical Storm Debbie. I was there and Rick was away. And our downstairs got flooded and I needed help lifting. He had PA equipment and his drums and all that would have gotten wet. We had to put it on the pool table. And I needed help for that because some of these PA speakers were just too big for one person. So that happened, but that was my, I think, last encounter with a tropical storm or storm surge. Anyway, so what's happened with this Hurricane Helene, she's given us a gift, at least on this ship. We are able to stay one more day. I should have been off this boat at 8 o'clock in the morning. But because in Tampa, what happens with a storm surge, all the water gets pushed into Tampa Bay, which is where the port is. So all that area along the bay gets flooded. And then debris, there were boats in Ozone. I saw pictures, boats that were in the road, that got floated from their docks. And then when it receded, they landed all kinds of different places. So same with debris in the port, that there could be debris in the water that the ship could hit. So they have to make sure that's all cleared up before, before we can get in dock. So now our docking, we arrive at 5 o'clock and then we actually disembark around 7. So we get a whole day on the ship. We get food, we get entertainment, and just a little extra time to relax. So it was really a blessing. And I got some comments here. So, Bridget's saying regarding my Montezuma experience, the ice is the culprit. And she says, sleep is when you heal. Yes. So I haven't been getting a whole lot of healing because I haven't been doing a whole lot of sleeping. But, it's all about the good vibes lifestyle that I am promoting and doing my best to live. Hashtag good vibes lifestyle. And as you saw earlier, one of the techniques or tips I like to promote is whenever you have an event or a vacation or, whatever it is, instead of worrying about it, what you do is visualize the highest timeline that you can imagine. So this whole trip, I had visualized, like I knew, when hurricane season is through, November 1st. And like September is one of the busiest. Times of hurricane season. So I know that this was a potential for a hurricane. But I just visualized everything working out perfectly, felt that just calm and like everything just gonna work out. I wasn't gonna worry about it. I was just gonna feel happy and joyful and good about it and visualize everything working out just perfectly. And it did, except for my Montezuma experience, which is just another reminder to me that alcohol is not for me anymore. I need to let that go. Alcohol really, honestly, lowers your vibration, and I know this, and it also shortens your life, according to I don't know, some of the things I've read. Wayne Dyer. Um, but the not the knowledge is out there about how alcohol really lowers your vibration and reduces your lifespan. So it's not a substance we want to ingest if you want to live a healthy and long life and live the good vibes lifestyle. So alcohol's not for me. So that was a lesson again. Don't do it. But it could have been the ice, the water, but it cleared me out, so I'm all good now. But wasn't feeling it so much. I used peppermint oil, which helped some, but Lynn gave me some Tums, and that really did the trick. So much better after that. So what else? So anyway, my point is, instead of worrying, if you find yourself worrying, use that as a flag or a trigger to remind yourself to visualize your highest timeline. And so when you do, just like this trip, it was better than I ever even expected. The highlight for me of the trip was snorkeling in the stormy weather in Honduras, in Roatan, Honduras. That was the highlight for me. I want to ask the other ladies on the trip. I don't know if I'll be able to do it this stream or a little bit later, but I want to find out what their highlights were. So my highlight was definitely that. Then probably secondly was the zip lining and cave tubing, and I did get our guide gave me some clay. So I'm bringing that home. Some clay from these caves in the Belizean jungle. So that was a little kind of natural souvenir. I like to sometimes get those, even though you're not supposed to take any. Well, it wasn't plants or anything like that, but the soil from Belize, from this river under the caverns, that was very cool. So that was my number 2 experience or highlight. The low light was, sorry about that. The low light, if that's a word. The low light for me was the Montezuma's experience the day after, and just feeling like crap for a few hours. That was a low, and not getting enough sleep. So the main thing was for me next time is to really force myself or figure out a way to get some good sleep before my trip and during the trip. Because as you may have seen, I looked really tired. Whatever, dark circles, puffy eyes, that kind of stuff. So, and the food's been great. I do realize that, there's a tendency to overeat on these ships because the food's so good and you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I usually skip breakfast, just have coffee, and I do the intermittent fasting thing and eat like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon for my first meal. So I do like a lunch and a dinner usually. So here we have lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's just a little too much. So diet starts when I get back, or the detoxification happens when I get back. What else? We went to a show last night, so that was a comedian. He was funny, so that was good. So the entertainment's good. Gosh, what do we do? They had the charm bracelet, so I got all my charms. When you buy 8, it's a charm a day, and then you get a free one. So that was good. The shopping was good in Cozumel. What else? It was Cozumel, then it was Honduras. Honduras was great. That was, like, to me, the highlight. Then the zip lining and the tubing. Now, I did get the helmet with the camera on it because you couldn't tape, I couldn't use my GoPro. So I recorded that, but I have to download it. So I'll have some video from the snorkeling underwater and the zip lining and the cave tubing in a couple of days when I have access to my laptop and I can download stuff and edit it a little bit so you can see those. So we'll probably be recapping this for next week's live stream. What else? So right now I can tell you that the shipping lane, I guess, is closed, or the port is closed right now. And there are like 9 ships around us. So I'm going to flip the camera. Let me see if there are any more comments. Yes, more comments. Bridget. Okay, Bridget says, alcohol ages you. Yes, it does. Not just me, everybody. And then she also says, Ho'oponopono, your water to heal your body, start now. Okay, good idea, Bridget. Thank you. Yes, I need to Ho'oponopono my water, which is the prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive, thank you, and I love you. And when you say that to your water before you drink it, you're basically blessing it. And then that goes to all your cells, and your cells receive that and get blessed. So that's another good tip. But let me flip the camera over here and show you the other ships that are around. Settings, camera, back camera. Yeah, I've had to do this with my phone, and I usually use my laptop, so I have more availability. I'm not going to bring my coffee. Yeah, I've got my good vibes cup with my coffee. So one tip that I learned from all the videos that I watched in preparation for this adventure was to bring your own coffee cup, because then you could fill it up and keep it warm, because what happens, they have the porcelain cups and your coffee gets cold rather quickly. So they have coffee available all the time. So let us go around here. Make sure my microphone, I'm using a different microphone here on my system. And here you can see all these ships. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I count. 12, 13, 14. There's Lynn.
There's more ships.
11. I count 11. How many did you count?
We had 17 a moment ago.
Oh my goodness.
17. Most of them are cargo ships.
Cargo ships.
Or
freighters.
Freighters, yeah, carrying fuel.
That's cool. That's the very front of the boat. We don't have access to that part. That's where the that's where the anchor comes from down there. But we don't have access to that. But yeah, you can still see the remnants of Helene. The stormy sky right here. I don't have my bearings, so I don't know which way this is, but I would imagine that this is kind of northwest, maybe northeast, but definitely north. Look how pretty the water is. I love the water. That blue-green against the beautiful sky. I love stormy weather. And there's another ship right there. I think that's the Carnival. That might have been the one that was tagging along with us. Hold on one second. My glasses so I can see better. So yeah, things are calm waters, not too windy. I'm using my microphone. I think that's the Carnival that we've been traveling with. And so yeah, an extra day at sea, or at least in the Gulf of Mexico and on the ship. Still have my Wi-Fi, so that's a good thing. Oh gosh, but I gotta tell you, I made a mistake when we left Costa Maya. Okay, so I have T-Mobile. Let me flip the camera again. I have T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has service in Mexico. So when we were at that resort at the beach, I took my phone off of airplane mode. Oops. I took my phone off of airplane mode. I don't know if you can see me. My picture is kind of weird. Well, hopefully you can see me, although it doesn't look good on my camera. Let's try this again. Saves camera. Oh, there, front camera, good. There. Well, it's not showing. Can you let me know? Do you see my full picture, or is it only a half picture? Let me know, Bridget, if you're watching. Can see you. Okay, good. So tip of what not to do. So we're in Costa Maya. I find out that my T-Mobile plan includes Mexico. So I take it off of airplane mode. I'm also connected to their Wi-Fi. So that's why I did that live stream that morning. And when I went back to the boat, I forgot to put it back on Wi-Fi. And it's 5 o'clock. We're going to dinner. And I got some kind of like survey thing from T-Mobile. And then I got another text. And I thought it was just baloney, but it turns out it was a reminder, turn your airplane mode on because you're, away from the service, the cell phone service. And I had forgotten, and we made a call to Andrew to check on him and everything for 10 minutes, and they charge you $5.99 a minute. So that's like a $60 call right there, and then like 50 cents a text, and I was texting too. So I don't know, but my T-Mobile bill is going to be a little high, and I'm going to see if they'll give me some grace and, reduce the charges. But Lynn said she reimbursed me since we were talking to Andrew, and I think that was the night of the hurricane. So we were just kind of checking in with him and that. And actually, we did the Healy on her house, and they didn't have any damage. They did have an air conditioner go underwater, so a little bit of damage, but not what it could have been. So very lucky on that part. So that you just got to remember, take it off the air, put it back on the airplane mode when you get on the ship if you ever take it off. So that's definitely a tip to remember. The boat is gently swaying. So I like it. I like the ocean. The Gulf of Mexico, and the colors of the water and the sky, and the balminess of the weather is really nice. I love it. And now, Helene apparently, of course, headed up to Murphy, where our house is in the mountains. And I saw some video of I-4 near Asheville getting washed away. Saw those pictures. And then someone keeps saying that a dam broke somewhere in North Carolina. So we're up, our house is up in a mountain, and we have neighbors that are checking on it. So I haven't checked for sure to see if our house is okay, but I'm sure it is, so I'm not worried. But yeah, this Helene did a lot of damage, not only to Florida, and I haven't even looked at the panhandle pictures because I'm sure that that's where the direct hit happened, around the Big Bend area, which, if you look at the map, you see how it's kind of carved out. So that's normally where the storms go. So it's not a good place to settle down unless you're, I guess, in high ground or away from the storm surge area. So, good wishes and blessings and support to the people that were affected by the storm. I hope everyone made it, and that you have insurance to cover what was lost, if anything. But just hang in there and rebuild and think positive, and focus on what you do have, not what you don't have. So I guess that will be my last bit of wisdom from the ship. Someone has a shirt that says "fuck off." Sorry, I mean good morning. Sadie, she's not a morning person, but she's been nice to me, so no complaints there. All right, so does anyone have any other comments or questions or things you want me to show you on the ship before I leave? Go ahead and put it in the comments now so I can see it. And to that, let's see, Bridget said yes, but is there anything on the ship that you want to see? And I'm going to go this way so you can kind of see the back end of Helene. So we were dancing with her in the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf, and followed her back, tailing her on the way back home. And the blessing is we got an extra day on the ship, which is awesome because my flight, I didn't even have to change my flight because my flight is like 5 a.m. on Monday. So I had some extra time built in at the beginning and end of this cruise just because that's how it worked. So Rick wants to know, when do we disembark? We disembark, the ship docks at 5 o'clock, and we're supposed to disembark around 7. I don't know why there's a 2-hour difference, but the last paperwork I saw, or notification I saw, was 7 o'clock this evening. So I get picked up by my sister and brother-in-law, and they're only 25 minutes away from the airport, so it's an easy thing. And then I have all day Sunday to recover and get ready to travel. 5 o'clock in the morning is the flight, so I'm going to be there around 3. So that'll be another day of not a whole lot of sleep, or I'll have to try to get there early. Go to bed early. So, all right. Well, that's all for now. I'm not sure if I'll do another live before I get off the ship, but thanks for joining me during this cruise adventure, and hope that my experience gives you some positive vibes, positive advice. What am I trying to say? I've been so tired, my brain is not working correctly or as fast, or I don't know, maybe it's being around the water, just being out of my element. But I lose my words. It could be, I'm not going to even say that. I'm just, like sleep. And it's morning. It's only 9:23 in the morning. So I'm not a super morning person. I'm more of an evening type person. But everything's been so flip-flopped. Being on a cruise or vacation, you're always, out of your element and doing different things. But yeah, so let me close with a picture again of the beautiful water and sky. There we go. So, last little bit. Actually, I want to do a live stream with the girls and ask for their highlights and lowlights of the trip. It was, we had a nice room, and I don't even remember. I gave you a shot of the room. It's all messed up now because our stuff is all over the place. But yeah, we were able to be in that space for women, and we did just fine. So it's all good. So happy vibes from the Enchantment of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship. That's the Enchantment of the Seas. See the rest of the boat from here. I'm in the front. You can see people just having their breakfast, chilling out, looking at stuff. She said, 15 boats they counted that are waiting? So everyone's just hanging out in the Gulf of Mexico, waiting for the Port of Tampa to open up so we can continue on. All right. So have a beautiful Saturday, beautiful day. And I will see you next time. Again, like I said, I hope to interview or talk to the girls about their highlights and lowlights of the trip so you get another perspective. But we had a great time. Lynn's birthday. And yeah, it's been good. So a day to rest today. And for the people in Florida, a day of cleanup, I'm sure. Still cleaning up. So Well, have a wonderful day. Remember to raise your vibes so you can thrive. And I will see you in a little bit. Peace out, everyone.